Now take a look at the carved wooden chair here. It's empty, but it feels deeply grounded, right? This perfectly represents the self being forced into absolute stillness. What the author discovered is that our minds aren't just these chaotic, random storms of passing thoughts. Actually, they operate under strict, unyielding spiritual laws. The self is your present point of conscious awareness that conceives overstanding. It's the observer. It witnesses every single experience you have while remaining completely distinct from the experiences themselves. So to break that autopilot loop we talked about, you first have to take a seat in this chair. You literally have to become the observer. Now, there is an unseen architecture running right beneath the surface of reality, and this is known as ether. Think of ether as the literal gears that transform the abstract mystery of your mind into a precise, clockwork mechanism. It represents the foundational principles that govern the entire movement of consciousness throughout creation. So this isn't just some lofty philosophical concept, it is the structural engine of how pure potential becomes physical form, how that form turns into a lived experience, and how that experience ultimately returns to its source. But before we get into the nitty-gritty mechanics of this ether, we really need to understand the grand architecture behind it all. We can do this by contrasting the ultimate creator of existence, symbolically referred to as the jeweler, with the living field of infinite potential they use to shape reality, which is the diamond, or source energy. You see, the diamond actually has no light of its own. It merely reflects and refracts the infinite light of the jeweler. Source energy is the sustaining power that allows all worlds to exist, but we have to be careful never to confuse the diamond for the jeweler. The creator is the foundation upon which existence itself rests and is completely beyond measurement. Okay, this magnificent wheel right here represents the 9 thunders. That's the symbolic name for the order of 9 ether. Together, these are the operating principles through which consciousness actually moves from source all the way toward return. And why does this matter to you? Well, because it proves that reality is not random. The physical world around you is just the visible effect. Your consciousness is the invisible cause driving this entire wheel. Let's break down how this consciousness builds step by step in what we call an eternal flow. First, it takes physical shape in earth as a foundation. Then it records itself in the water of our emotions and memories. Next up, it moves through the fire of will, which gives us courage and creative action. From there, it enters air. That's the realm of thought, perception, and balance. After that, it expresses outward through sound, meaning communication and truth. And finally, it reaches vision, the imagination that acts as the blueprint for what is actually possible. It is a highly precise, unbroken sequence of manifestation. To truly grasp how we experience this flow every single day of our lives, we have to talk about perspective. Every conscious being carries a divine spark, an individual expression originating directly from the Creator. Perspective is simply the unique point of awareness through which the Creator experiences diversity. It's the exact reason why you and I could look at the exact same situation and walk away with 2 completely different realities. Every single perspective contributes to the infinite expression of creation. And honestly, this wild diversity is exactly how existence expands and grows. Notice these 4 glowing orbs here. They might look cosmic, but they aren't distant planets. These are the 4 worlds. They are the symbolic realms or perspectives you shift through every time you think, feel, or act to develop understanding. They basically represent the primary directions that source energy flows. You are actually shifting through these worlds every single day, though usually we do it entirely unconsciously. The real goal of mastering your consciousness is learning to navigate these 4 distinct perspectives deliberately, rather than just being yanked around by them on autopilot. So let's look at what these are. You have the eternal world, which is the perspective of ultimate oneness. Then you have the upper, inner world of the soul. This one is feminine, receptive, and holds all your deep memories. Opposite that is the lower outer world of the spirit, which is masculine, highly active, and focuses on expression. And right in the dead center of it all is the middle world, anchored by your body. Your body is basically the sacred technology that keeps you from getting stuck in just one mode of living. It's the exact place where eternal unity, soul memory, and spirit willpower all meet and become physically touchable. Okay, so how do we actually process the lessons from these different worlds so we can finally stop living on autopilot? Well, we have to understand the difference between the knowledge of the depths, which is what we feel internally, and the knowledge of the heights, which is what we can observe and logically structure. The truth is, most of our suffering comes from being stuck in one world while our life desperately requires another. Listen closely to this. You absolutely cannot solve a deep internal emotional wound just by staying busy with outward action. And on the flip side, you cannot manifest a physical goal while refusing to acknowledge your own internal feelings. When you do turn inward to that upper inner world, your soul gathers what we call inner standing. Now, this isn't textbook knowledge. It's that deep, profound emotional resonance and meaning carried in your waters of memory. Inner standing is quite literally the soul's language, and the soul is the eternal receiver of your experience. Its alphabet is feeling. You experience inner standing when, say, you hear a beautiful piece of music and tears just spring to your eyes before you even know why. Or when you meet someone and immediately feel this profound, undeniable connection. It's knowledge received through lived experience and fully integrated within the soul. But while your soul uses feeling to grasp meaning through understanding, your mind uses overstanding. Overstanding is how we recognize the greater pattern, the purpose, and the relationship of all things. Crucially, overstanding is the ability to hold contradictions without mentally collapsing. It's that moment when you can look at a highly complex situation, acknowledge the deep emotional truth of your soul, acknowledge the active willpower of your spirit, and actually conceive a reality that honors both of them. Overstanding is the knowledge of the middle world. It sees the big picture. Look at the figure seated right here at the center throne. This is the mind acting as the ultimate bridge. The mind is the instrument through which yourself, your soul, and your spirit interpret, organize, imagine, reason, and communicate within creation. It perfectly balances the celestial, logical structures on one side and the flowing earthly waters on the other. A lot of people think otherwise, but your mind is not your enemy. It is the translator. When you take your seat at this middle throne, you aren't suppressing your emotions and you aren't just acting blindly on impulse either. You are weaving them together into conscious, deliberate choice. And that brings us to the ultimate destination of this entire internal hero's journey, harmony. Harmony is the balanced relationship between all aspects of existence, the masculine and the feminine, the inner and the outer, the thought and the feeling. Now, to be clear, harmony does not mean sameness, and it definitely doesn't mean the absence of disagreement or friction. It means different, distinct parts working together toward a much greater purpose, just like the different instruments in a magnificent orchestra. When you achieve this balance, you are naturally expressing divine law. You're no longer fighting the current of reality, you're finally swimming with it. This majestic owl we see here symbolizes the absolute completion of the eternal flow, the return. The return is the conscious recognition of your unity with the creator of existence at the end of this journey. Just notice the words surrounding it: alignment, ascension, awakening, harmony. The whole journey of existence isn't about escaping who you are to somehow merge and become part of the creator. It's about consciously realizing a relationship that has literally always existed. It is source potential taking form, learning through the grit of experience, and returning home with the ultimate gift of conscious awareness. So now that you've seen the actual mechanics of your own consciousness, the hidden gears turning your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, the real work begins. You are no longer ignorant of the ether, or the four worlds, or that incredibly delicate balance between your soul's inner understanding and your mind's overstanding. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to ponder. Are you ready to finally break the autopilot loop? How will you stop reacting to the world around you and start deliberately designing your reality?